Good morning. How are you all doing today? Excuse, there's a little bit of mess in the background. I don't like that. Don't like that. But it's good to see you. I'll come to why I haven't been here for a while. But the mess, we're about to have some work done in the house, in the kitchen. We're having the kitchen remodeled. So we're doing that, and it sounds a lot grander than it actually is. Our little kitchen is going to be a nicer little kitchen. So the stuff in here that usually is in there. Not happy about this. Environment is everything. Environment is key. But anyway, I've got my coffee and got my camera and my microphone and all as well. And I've got a plan. I've got a plan for today. So where have I been? Well, it's been my good lady wife's 60th birthday. I don't know whether I'm meant to keep mentioning it, but I do, because she's immense. Anyway, it's been her 60th birthday, and we were away for the weekend with family. That was great. Didn't get back till Monday, and then Wednesday was her actual birthday. I don't know when this happened. I don't know when we went from birthdays to birth weeks, but it's a modern phenomenon, isn't it? Surely designed by the capitalist infrastructure to keep us spending money for a lot longer. Anyway, we got sucked right into it. We had a weekend away with the family down in Wales. What a beautiful place. We've been there before. We've been to Wales on Anglesey. So we've been there. So we know Wales a little. And it looks like the lakes, doesn't it? And it kind of looks like Scotland, except maybe the mountains aren't quite as high, or as many of the mountains aren't quite as high. But anyway, we went to Wales, and that was nice. And then Wednesday. Now, here's an interesting thing. The weekend probably cost us a fortune. I don't know. I don't interfere with such things. And it was wonderful. But the Wednesday was equally as wonderful because we didn't do anything dramatic or significant. We had a walk with the dog and went into Costa and had an egg. I had an egg muffin thing, and then we had a walk with the dog in the afternoon and called in at the pub and had a drink, and then had a takeaway, and it was dead simple. And it was also very relaxing, which was really good. And then the final day of celebration was Friday, when we went to see some jazz at the Gala Theatre in Durham. Lovely place if you're ever in Durham. They do lots of really good things. Nice little cafe in there as well. All those kind of things you would love at the Gala Theatre. See some jazz, and then we love a coupon. We love a coupon, and Christine had. You get emailed these things for your birthday because you've registered with a restaurant or a bar or something. So we ended up having a free cocktail and a half price meal in the afternoon. Mega. These are the things that I usually just see and think, oh yeah, I'll use that, and then I never use it, and it expires. Anyway, there you go. So that's where I've been. That's what I've been up to. But I'm back, and I think I need to backtrack a bit, don't I? Because I need to go back to where we were. Because remember, we were doing this whole "Give Me a Year" thing, and then Christine's birthday got in the way. But never mind. We were doing this whole "Give Me a Year" thing, and we talked about the 10-year plan. We talked about kind of, we talked about the 10-year plan and it being based on your values rather than on goals, if you like. Who do you want to be in 10 years' time? Not what do you want to do, that kind of thing. So we talked about that. And then we talked about the year, and we talked about setting up your harbors. Remember, we talked about setting up your harbors. Where are the breaks in your year where you can recover and recuperate? Really important. And we then talked about, I think we talked about a month, didn't we? And we talked about a week. Maybe we just went straight to the week. Can't remember. Need to think about that for the book, don't I, though, if this turns into a book. Then we went with the week and how we look after our week and about planning. And then we get down to the individual day where you're going to do stuff, where you're going to have your best day. I think Mondays, here we are in Monday. I think Mondays are great days. Because if you got the weekend right, have a look at the session, the live on weeks. If you got the weekend right, then you're ready to go. You're raring to go. In fact, you're excited to get back. And if you're not excited to get back to it, we need to think about that, because working age adults, we spend a lot of time at work. I don't necessarily agree that that's the way you have to live your life, but it's the way most of us live our lives. Most of us live our lives 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, doing something that generates cash so that we can do other things. That's, you know, that's another debate, isn't it? That's a massive debate about whether that's actually what's best for us. I'd argue in many ways it isn't, but that's what we're locked into. That's what we're involved in for the most part. So a few of the commentators on this, I think Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi says this. He talks about kind of finding joy in every moment. You've got to find joy in every moment. So in your day to day, you will have things that you absolutely love doing. You'll have some things, I'm sure. It might not be work, mind. It could be other things, but there'll be things that you really enjoy doing, and there'll be things you don't enjoy doing. And Mihaly says you've got to try and find the joy in everything. Where's the pleasure and delight in all of these things? Very important. Because if you're not finding some sort of pleasure, and sometimes for me the pleasure is simply, let's get this done because I'm not keen on this thing. Let's get it done and let's move on. Sometimes that's the pleasure for me. The drive, the motivation to say, I'm going to get this out of the way because that will free up my mental space. That's sometimes the motivation that I take, But if we think about the day, I think your day needs to be as absolutely structured as possible. What we know is that we have, if we have a plan and we've written things down, it's easier to stick to that plan. We've got to trust our past self. Remember, we've planned today last Friday. If you listen to the one on what to do with the whole week, we've planned. So we've got to trust that assuming nothing changes. And one of the things that is often said is the plan only survives first contact. So you might open your emails and it all might change, but you've got to deal with that. But if you've got a plan, you can deal with that more effectively. So, so we've got the plan. We have to trust our past selves now, that when we were thinking about our future selves, we created the best structure to the day that we had. So we're gonna just go with the structure. Now, there's a couple of things here. A book called The Morning Miracle talks about how we start our day, how we set ourselves up. It's really important. Your working day does not start when you start work. I can't remember which book this was in now, but I was reading a book, like you do, and the woman she was a CEO of a big organization, and she said the first thing she does every day is go for a run. I mean, some of us don't have the luxury of time to do that, but she said the first thing she does is she gets herself out and goes for a run, and the run is part of her working day because the run sets her up for a working day. And in The Morning Miracle, the author talks about the things that we need to do to set us up for the day, and it's preparation. It's preparation for it. It's waking your mind and your body up gradually. I sometimes use Kubitschek and Cotton's 5 gears metaphor when I talk about self-care and resilience and all that kind of stuff. And they say that you got to go through the gears in order in the car. You don't go from first. You don't go from starting the engine into fifth. You don't go from first to fifth. You don't even go from first to fourth or first to third. You have to go through the gears in the order. And first gear is the gear that gets us started. And how we start, if you go for too high a gear, you get that bumpiness, don't you? You get that kind of kangaroo petrol. I remember my Brian Jackson, my driving instructor, used to call, we've got the kangaroo petrol in today because the car's going like this. And we don't want that. We want a nice smooth transition into the day, smooth transition into the actual work, and then a smooth transition through it. And planning does that. So the things that you need to do in the morning is wake up your brain. And there are ways to wake up your brain. And believe me, looking at your smartphone is not the way to wake it up, because we look at our smartphones in a particular way. I'm not anti-smartphone, love my smartphone, use it it helps me. It's a productive thing when used properly. So it's not dipping into social media, dipping into this, dipping into that. It's about something linear, a book. So I read on a morning, have a bit of a read of a book, even just a few pages. If you've not got much time, you do these little things. I mean, for me, I tend to be able to find half an hour in the morning. So I read. Also, you need to wake your body up. So I do some stretching. Also do some meditation at the end of stretching, because that's time in silence. And all of these things are really important just to start the chemical processes, the biological processes, neurological processes that are going on in your body. And then we can get into the day. And then the perfect thing, you might have heard me talk before about the way my dog views her work, if you like. And I see her work as when we go for a walk. She likes to sniff things. She likes to understand her environment. So that's what she does. But she doesn't do that till she knows she's safe. She doesn't get her head into the bushes and into the undergrowth and what have you and sniff the lampposts. She doesn't do any of that until she knows she's safe. So she horizon scans. She runs to the end of our drive. That's the first thing she does. Then she looks up and she horizon scans and she makes sure that everything's safe. And once everything's safe, she gets down to work. This analogy for us is the same. We need to. Morning, Pete. Pete's joined us. You need to go back to the start. We're 10 minutes in. You're late. We need to horizon scan. So we need to start the day by doing whatever it is that starts our day up. And for many of us, particularly in contemporary organizations, for many of us, it's the emails, it's the diary, it's those kind of things. So we get those strategic things out of the way at the start of the day. So for me, it's looking at my diary and visualizing my day, connecting with my day, making sure I know what's coming. Sometimes I then go into my phone and set alarms, because what I don't want to be doing is sat in the middle of some deep work thing thinking, oh, at 11 o'clock, I must remember I've got that Teams meeting. No, I don't want to do that. I want to be ready for the meeting. So what I do is set an alarm at 10:45 to say, get ready for the meeting. And what that does is it means I don't have to worry about thinking about the meeting, because I'm going to be reminded. It's about automating as much of our deep work as possible. It's about automating our withdrawal from the deep work when we've got something we have to go to and get to do. So diary, alerts, emails, Teams messages, then switch them all off and get into your deep work. Get into your deep work at that point. Deep work for, I mean, opinion is divided, I suppose, but most of the literature I read says that we're good for tasks for about 45 minutes to an hour before we need a little break. So those breaks during the day are really, really important. Those little 5-minute micro breaks that I've talked about in other places, lunch break, other breaks every 5 minutes. Back-to-back Teams meetings being the scourge of many a workplace when I talk to people. So what you need to do is start yourself up one morning. First thing, start yourself up with a routine. And it can be anything, lots of people will include their kids in their routines, I suppose, as well, So what's the routine? What starts you up in the day that says, right, I've done all of that stuff and I'm ready to go? Then what starts you up with work? You need to think about this stuff for yourself. What is it that you do? Because I tell you what I do, but what you do will be different. So I visualize alarms, visualize alerts, and then emails, and then I'm going, right, deep work tunnel. Here we go. Let's get on with this thing for an hour. I'm all right. I tend to be I'm all right for an hour and a half, maybe sometimes. So it depends what it is. Depends how tiring the thing is that I'm doing. But know yourself. Know yourself to lead yourself. Kubitschek and Cockram. Know yourself to lead yourself. Understand how you tick. Understand your chronotype, how you track over the day, how your energy levels track over the day, and manage your work to those energy levels. Not easy for all of us. I sometimes have my energy levels are low in an afternoon, but I sometimes have to lecture on an afternoon. That's just the way it is. So I try to do a bit less on a morning to conserve some energy. And at the end of the day, just to finish this off, at the end of the day, it's the same in reverse, isn't it? It's visualizing tomorrow, it's planning for tomorrow, it's doing emails to see what's cropped up during the day, and then it's then into your home life, transition into that. And another point we're talking about here, having your best day. Another point is, how do you transition into sleep? And if you do any of these things by crashing into them, you crash into your work day, going because you've been going full pelt. You crash out of your work day because you've come out of it full pelt and not kind of gradually work your way out of it. You crash out of the day by slumping in bed, like after having worked and done stuff right up to the last minute. All of those crashes into those alternative things are going to lead to an ineffective transition. Our transitions need to be slow and deliberate, preparing for the day, preparing for work, preparing for home life, preparing for sleep. Deliberate transitions, not uncontrolled transitions. So anyway, there you go. That's all we got for today. But I'm back. I'm back. Looking at my diary. We've now got the birthday shenanigans out the way, and I'm back, and here we are doing the lives again. That's been Monday. That's been Monday, the 17th of October. Can't see why I won't see you on Wednesday. It'll be epic. It'll be really good. So we will see you then. Onward with the day. Take care. See you soon.